right, you bunch of yahoos. Strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention.
And welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity. I am here with my co-host, the man of men, the guy that scares everyone else, the guy with the most unruly mustache, Don the Predator Frye, and yours truly here, Dan to be Severn. And we have a couple. We're here to entertain, offend, defend anybody and everyone. These are merely our opinions. So if we offend some people, well, put your man panties on, because the title said it all in Toxic Masculinity. And our two special guests this evening, we have Mr. Todd Standing and Mr. Kevin Gilligan. And we're going to be talking about the topic of Sasquatch. You heard it right there, folks. Sasquatch.
If I'm right, and I can feel what you're thinking, Don. I feel you. Yeah. I feel you. I understand. I get it. I understand you're old school. I understand. I can really, I'm working on my empathic ability, and I can really, I can feel your pain. I can feel a woman damaging you. I don't know anything about you, and I feel the dad in you. It's powerful. I love my little girl, man. I treasure that little girl. Oh my God, she's my heart. And family court tried to take her away because I'm a man. Yeah. So it's horrible, and that all that shit can end. We can really have a world of justice and integrity that we dreamed about as children, by just being transparent and honest. Because that the hate and the lying and the wheeze, that's all negativity. It's a sickness, and it's weak. And I want to overcome that for the next generation. I want to leave that for the children, a world where we can just have that level of communication. And we're gonna evolve to it. You got to see it coming, guys. They're teaching it in every psychology course in every university, that empathic and telepathy is an absolute reality. And they're right. And the fact that that's right is you can't lie anymore. I can literally sit down in a room with you and I can feel that energy. Just even 2 days ago, I took my little girl to her day home. She's 3, and some dude was like following and looking, and I got angry. I felt like this, there's something wrong with this son of a bitch. And I put my little girl went away. Luckily he took off, and I was pissed. I wanted to go freaking, I was like hostile. So I phoned the police, and I talked about the vehicle and everything. They came out and they found him. He's a pedophile. And I felt it, guys. Like that's powerful. The police were like, how the fuck did you recognize him or something? And I was like, no, but the hair was standing up on the back of my neck, and he had sunglasses on. He was trying not to look, but I could just feel like that's my little girl, man. I just got so primordial. And these are new instincts that I'm just learning at this stage in my life that, that are powerful, that are important, that this should be nature. What dad doesn't want to protect their child like that?
Yeah, we should be developing that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I am. And that's what the Sasquatch are doing. They're helping me develop that. They're helping me acquire this ability. And it's nature, guys. Like, I actually recognized it because I can tell if a mountain lion is stalking me. I can feel that cat energy. I've done it 20 times. Every single time, I could just feel that cat, that tail moving, that he's thinking about coming down and stalking me. And it was, at least with the mountain lion, though, I can feel the nature in it. I can feel it's his natural predatory instinct. What I felt with this person was it just made me so, like, for me to call the police, I don't call the police. I handle shit myself. I don't have much faith in the police right now. But I knew I had to do something that guy was around, and it worked. And yeah, we all need to develop that. We all need to have that. It would,
Dan and Don, when you guys had the Staredowns, especially you, Don, because you've had some really interesting Staredowns. When you look at a guy's eyes, because I know from being a cop, I mean, when I walked into a room, especially because it was never a good thing when I walked in a room as a cop, right?
Yeah.
So you're reading people and you're getting your intuition in line, like you're saying, Todd. When you guys were walking into the cage and you were, at that stare down, what did could you see? Is there any one instance where you knew you had the guy?
Yeah, you're looking for weakness, you're looking
whatever you see. I mean, because I'm sure you saw the antithesis of that too with some of the guys you fought.
Well, they say that the window or the eyes are the windows of the soul.
Yeah.
So you stare into their eyes, and you just burrow in there and you find that weakness, And if it's not there, then you fucking put it in there.
Well, that's yeah, exactly.
But are you looking for them to turn away from you, Don? What is it when you stared at it? But what are you looking for? I mean, if they do turn away from you, what did that say?
Yeah, the eyes that turn away, the blink, what have you. Yeah, anything to show a little sign of weakness, to say, hey, listen, this is me. This is all about me, not you, boy. You're just along for the ride, and it's gonna be a short one.
From being a cop, I mean, you would make eye contact all the time, and you could, the cards were being revealed. You could see who was the bad guy, where the intent was, whatever you were dealing with. You're right, Todd. It's really just tying into that instinct,
Yeah, and they call it instinct, but it's really, and it is, but at another level, it's within us. It's in our nature to be that way.
Right.
And if you can understand, just you have to take my word for it a little bit. The Sasquatch, they all communicate with each other instantaneously at all times. They're in each other's heads. They're connected at all times. So the level of communication between them, the level of love and integrity in those families is beyond my understanding in my lifetime. But that's why they stay away from us, because they know about that deceit. They know about that deception, and it's evil, isn't it? It's horrible. Like it scares them that we can lie to each other, that we can lie to ourselves so much, And going back to that, Don talking about when there was no fear, he wanted to go get it. That's actually what I felt from that guy. When I gave him looks before, when I was walking my little girl, and he wasn't afraid of me at all. And that's what made me want to go put the quote unquote from Don Frye. I wanted to go put the fear in him. And I felt like I'm not a violent guy, and I don't feel anger like that, except when something crosses, my beautiful children. Yeah. And I was envisioning going and breaking that glass and ripping him right out of the car and putting some fear into him, I was angry, and I was going to do it too. I was going to go back and make sure exactly what I thought. You're not afraid? You come around my little girl, you better be afraid.
Yeah.
So you better be terrified.
That's parental. I mean, that's a whole different animal right there. When you protected your family, that's it makes more sense than when you talk about the Sasquatches and getting close, and that they're just going into protection mode. This is my family,
Yeah, and now can you imagine that? You've come into my home to harvest one of my family. Oh, I tell you, you guys are getting in. You're starting to break this. I do not want to be there when there's a 900+ pound group of primates that throw rocks and know their territory. They'll knock your ass out with infrasound. They've been doing that forever. Like you just, there's so many levels that you don't have a hope of getting through there. The only hope you have is that they just go, you're pathetic, and we're just going to stay away from you because you're crazy to come out here, you little ant peon, and think you could harvest one of my family members. And being connected and close on their land, this is my house, and you've come to kill me. Yeah. Like you're starting to understand. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I really get how I've seen their devotion to one another. I've seen and felt their energy and their pure freedom and openness and integrity. And some scumbag comes out to hunt one, like you're just like you walk out of there by the grace of them letting you live. Because I don't think I would be man enough if you came to hunt one of my family members. I don't think I'd be man enough to let you walk away unscathed, honestly. Right. So I give them that respect. It's just a point of, though, like, you're not going to fight a 5-year-old. Some 5-year-old's going to come kick your ass, Dan the Beast Severn, Don the Predator Frye, and you're just going to laugh at him, right? Are you really going to take that fight? Come on, he's a little kid. Right. He's barking, but you know what I mean? Like, right. You don't know what you're messing with here. You need to grow up a little bit. And that's literally where humanity is at. I don't even worry about people really going to, like, the American government could go in there with Apache helicopters and napalm and fuck them up. I get that with all the technology we have, but a group of hunters, even a well-organized group of hunters or mercenaries, I talk to those guys. I'm like, guys, let me try to explain something to you, because you just don't know what you're up against. And I'm only here to help save your lives. Because if the day comes where you start getting close, that's when they're going to retaliate, and you're going to be sorry you were ever born. These guys they'll crush your skull with a freaking, like, a tin can with a helmet on. Like, I've literally, when I say they're twice as strong as a gorilla, I'm lying. It's at least 3 times as strong. You're dealing with cold weather primates that hunt and fight. Like tropical primates, they only have one kind of muscle fiber because they'll overheat. Out in our continent, it gets cold, so they have slow and fast twitch and denser muscle fibers. Like a 400-pound bear is much stronger than a 400-pound gorilla. Primatologists tell you, like, you better be terrified. Bears are incredibly powerful, and we just don't give them that due. And a Sasquatch has that bear power, except they're 900 pounds, and they have technique. They understand how to move properly. I've seen it so much. Anatomically, they walk in a straight line, and it looks like models do that. But when you're big and powerful like that, and your hip rotates properly, and you move perfectly fluid, you're going to walk in a straight line. And that's what this, it's a well-known fact. The Sasquatch walk in a straight line. And the way we move out like this, if you look at the way the hips rotate, we wear out the hips. The knee joints aren't working properly. Like it's very anatomically inappropriate, but we can get away with it because what do we weigh? If you're Brock Lesnar, you're 300 pounds and you're huge, right? Most people are, $150. When you're 900 pounds, your body better move in perfect fluidity with perfect naturally designed technique. Like the speed they move at when they get in a rush. These guys are so amazing. I remember I had a standoff with the Sasquatch once. Accidentally, I was pissing him off, and when he came out, what he did is I had a gun, and I kind of reached where I exposed my gun. You know what he did? That bugger pressed up against a tree and compressed. I thought, what the hell? And he looked at me. He's like, go ahead, reach for it. Let's see what happens. He's about 80 yards away from me. And I was like, whoa. I saw the look in his face. But I realized, you know what he's doing? He was pressing up against a tree. He was going to shoot off of it. Do you understand? Like a runner coming out
like
of
a
the
sprinter block. Yeah.
Right? No bear or mountain lion does that. And he compressed, man. He was like, brr, like his body was like compressed. He was ready. Even his arms were like, I'm ready to explode like a sprinter. And I'm coming for you. You draw that gun and it's going down. And I felt his energy that way. And I was like, woo.
So these
Hands
days,
up, I'm out.
these days are cold. They're all cold weather, or are there some in hot weather, warm weather?
I only have, when you start getting down into like Texas, where they have little deer, no elk that I know of. The bears are small. I don't have any experience with those species. I went to Alabama and I just had to get schooled because, with the water moccasins and the diamondback snake, and even there's no ecology there. I was in the Talladega Forest, and there's no bears or mountain lions. They've killed everything. Like it's a very unnatural place now, but there are Sasquatch there. So and they felt really cranky and like Southern Americans actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about Central and South America? You got them there?
No, it's
too hot.
It seems to be just like even up into Russia and China, the Yeti's there.
Yeah, you're right.
The Yeti is like it's definitely a cousin, a subspecies of the Sasquatch, but we have the biggest, baddest bears, and the bears and the tigers too that live up in the cold. They're the toughest animals in the world. The further north you go, the tougher the species get. And our Sasquatch are even your ability to think. Neurons fire across a synaptic gap so much that you overheat and you can't get smart. These guys live out in the cold. Like there's so many levels of anatomically, they just have so many advantages. But most importantly, though, is Darwinism, is survival of the fittest. We don't know about that anymore. Everybody makes it. Right. Babies are born at like 4 months old and they're keeping them alive.
Yeah, we all get a trophy too. Yeah, we all get a trophy.
Right. Oh, don't even get me going about that. The transsexuals and I literally, I'm still in court. I have full custody of my children, but I'm still going to court for just whatever bullshit. They literally asked me to identify, and I'm very happy to identify as a bipedal hominid. You should see the looks I get there. Yeah. I'm bipedal. I walk on 2 feet, and I identify as a hominid. That's my way of saying.
Right.
Fuck. Come on. How many victims? Jesus. But anyways, and that's not toxic masculinity. That's just I don't disrespect. I've had gay friends. They're born gay. Whether you believe in God or what, that man is gay. He doesn't want to be gay. But give him his due and give him his rights. But too much of the victim. Jesus, this victim thing. It's a victim. Like, when do you say just suck it up and get your shit together? Because I sure want that. And I say that to my children. You walk it off. You're my precious little girl. You walk that stuff off, little girl. She got big blisters on her feet. I took her on a hike. She had shitty shoes on. Her feet are bleeding. I'm like, little girl, that's enough for you today. I'm carrying her. She's tough. She's powerful. And we have to have some sort of toughness. Otherwise, You know, what the hell's the point of this?
Absolutely.
Get gobbled up in today's society. I mean, you better have a little bit tougher hide to you. One of the cool things,
Go ahead.
no, I just said you better have a tougher hide on you, especially in today's society, because we just too many dandy pandy type of people right now. Just
Because words hurt,
about
Dan.
anything and
Words
everything.
hurt.
Yes, yeah. What happened to that little kid's rhyme there? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but Dave's would never hurt me. It's like going now. Everyone's like going, "Oh, you looked at me mean. Oh,
Yeah.
boo hoo." I'm thinking, put your man panties back on and let's go.
Listen to this. I took an anger my wife attacked me and threatened to kill me, and I had to take an anger management course.
Oh yeah.
I found out in anger management, this is violence.
Yeah.
I was just violent with you.
Yeah.
No violence. Look at the. I'm sorry. Look at the fucking definition. It means putting physical force upon somebody. Create a new definition, because that's not violence. If I give you a dirty look, I wasn't violent with you, but that's the way they teach it, and that's the facts, and that's in the courts now. If you give somebody a mean look, you're being violent. How am I opposing physical force upon your body with a look?
Right.
Like this is the degradation of our society, not just masculinity.
This is violent right here, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're thoroughly expressing your feelings, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, Don has no problem on that. No filter. Yeah, no filter.
That's it.
Well, that you know what that is though. That's transparency. That's honesty. And I have to have that, and everybody can be like that. My favorite people are people other people call assholes. Well, at least he tells it like it is. At least with him, I know where I stand.
Right.
Where's the value? That's enormous value to me. I'll have that guy in my corner because if I'm being I'm at the point now where I do have a level of fame. I do have a documentary. I am out there, and I get these kissers, and I tell you, they're the most despicable people. I just can't wait to get away from them, because I want somebody who stands up. I want somebody who tells it like it is. I want somebody who that creates power and cooperation. That makes me strong, right? Somebody who's asking.
What are those people trying to seek from you, though, Todd? The ones that you're talking about, what that are just trying to get in with this stuff. What are they trying to get from you? I guess.
I never hang around long enough to figure that out. It just washes away from me so quickly. I'm really, I am kind of an asshole. You know, I do rub people the wrong way, because I'll call it like it is. I'll call like my girlfriend's son. He was a bit of he's trying to tell me that this isn't happening. This isn't the way it is. And when I proved it was right, I rubbed his nose in it. He was rubbing my nose in it that I wasn't right. And when I was right, I rubbed his goddamn nose in it, because he needs to damn well understand that this is the way it is. This is the way we roll. And he refused to accept responsibility for him being wrong. So I really rubbed his nose in it.
Right.
You know, because and you know what's going to happen is he's going to go away, and he's thinking about it, and he will man up. And the next time he'll show some integrity, because you gotta do that. If you can't just create the society of victims.
There's accountability for their actions. That's what I say. There's no accountability for. We allow people to get away with things all the time, and if there's no accountability, we continue to lower the bar. And that's what I say. I'll use one great example. Physical fitness inside the United States used to mean something. And I think it'd be like in junior high, the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. If you could do all these different exercises within these time frames and stuff like that, you would get this Presidential Physical Fitness Award. I mean, I think that's been done away with for quite some time, because we continue to lower the bar. We lower our standards. I'm like going. That's why I like running my own training facility, because these are my standards. I get to play God. And I prefer it that way. I always tell people the doors that allow you to come into my facility also allow you to leave if you don't like my rules.
Right.
That's the beauty about this. These are my rules. This is my property. This is my country. You better speak my language, and abide by my rules. Otherwise, you may leave.
Absolutely.
So. But I'm just big about these things I've said before on other interviews. Even if I have a little youngster, if I'm teaching a kids class And I see it, little youngster, he's got his head down, scuffed his feet coming on in. I put my arm across the door, like a clothesline walk. He bumps right into it. He looks up at me, and I go, okay, when you come into Mr. Severn's class, what are you supposed to do? And he goes, I'm supposed to look you in the eye, and I'm supposed to shake your hand, and I'm supposed to say, hello, Mr. Severn. Again, but it's I always tell people, I'm not going to promise you I'm going to make your child into a world champion or anything of that nature. I go, but I guarantee you, I will give you back a better child, a more respectful child. Because even if I've had to ask some parents to leave because they'll want to sit in there and watch. And then they see that little Johnny Jr. or Susie Q keeps running back over to mom or to dad. I go, okay, mom or dad, you got three choices. You can either drop off, pick up. You can go into this other room over here, and with this golden hour, why don't you get a workout yourself in, and you'll feel a little bit better about yourself there. Or you can take your child and leave. I go, I'm not here. I go, I've never lost a child yet. They'll get along. I go, but you're hindering their development. They have to learn how to play and integrate and get along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but
when you talk about what we dealt with as kids and what kids how they manage some of these kids today. I mean, getting bullied. We all got bullied.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you deal with that bully.
Right.
You know. And again, you had to learn one way or the other, and our generations, you did.
Yeah.
Good or bad, you did. You can't say that.
I still get bullied. People still try to bully me because I learned how to deal with that when I was younger, and get rid of that ego. Every day someone tries to bully me.
A lot of it now is what they call cyber bullying. I mean, if they don't believe in your same opinion, they all hide behind the keyboard. It's like the keyboard warriors are going, Todd, you're crazy or whatever like this. They'll type it, but do they have the balls to put down their real name or anything like that? No, it'll be some fictitious name of Big Cat or whatever like that. That is said. So I go. That's where I used to do a couple of these early on, do a couple of interviews, but then people that would try to type in things and from a quiet corner, something like that. I go, I will do it. I go, come in here and say this to my face. I doubt if you'll say that to my face, especially within arm's reach or something like that. You aren't going to say it to my face. So,
but exactly, I had one of my very first showings. A couple of crypto guys, apparently they were pretty famous, were in my hometown at the time. They said they were going to beat me up. So I stood right there and I shook everybody's hand who came in to watch my documentary, because they also, at that time, I was having them sign a petition for species protection that I presented to the Canadian government. So that was my purpose, was to get that rolling. So I stood there the whole time, and then these guys went on line after, and so Todd went up the back way and blah blah blah. And I tell you, the response from people, that fucking Todd stood there the whole time, and he shook people's hands, and he looked in the eye, and he asked you to sign the petition. And I know who those guys were. I remember them coming and giving that little look and going around me. I look them right in the eye as a reflection of my character, not as a reflection of their cowardice. I stood there, and maybe I would take a beating, but I stood there. I stood my ground. I told it like it is, and I don't have anything to prove like that. You know what? Even I used to tell people this too. Dan Severn will whoop your ass. Does that mean Dan Severn's right about everything? He's a better fighter than you, but is he better intellect? Is he better at physics? Is he better? If Dan says that 4 + 4 is 5 and he whoops your ass, is it? Right? Like what does a fight really, what a fight proves? A fight proves that day, at that moment, you were literally in an altercation and you won that day. It really proves nothing else. When you can get to that logic of it with people, I hope that there can be some understanding that, it's, because I've been in fights like that, and I proved nothing. My mom was a nurse in the hospital, and I sent a guy to the hospital, and he was a prick to my mom. I was like, I don't want to put people in the hospital anymore. My doctor friend of my mom had to deal with this asshole, because the attitude continued on. So, and then it's wasting Medicare money. It's wasting doctors' time. It's just a waste to even put damage on people like that. So I gravitated off into, I feel peaceful, because because I could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Some people say they're peaceful, but you were never dangerous in the first place. That's a definition I've been coming to learn too, right?
Well, okay. Did you learn this through your study of Sasquatches? I'm not sure how
Yeah.
type of person were you before you started to do these going off on these week-long
Expeditions.
trips, expeditions out into to the wild. What were you like before? And have you learned this like this inner peace or this tranquility just by the study of Sasquatch?
It's mostly Sasquatch. They are like, you know, I'm a student of Survivor Man. He's a teacher of mine. I take him out and I show him my stuff, but he teaches me so much. I learn from even people that come out on an expedition with me that ask me good questions. But it's really the ultimate. My children are my greatest teacher. They're number one. My son is 13 and my daughter's 3.
Yeah.
I've never learned so much as I became a father, and I've never been so inspired to do Sasquatch research because Todd Standing doesn't really amount to much in the bigger scale of things, but as a conduit, I can help people understand this discovery happening, and that'll change the world because the Sasquatch are so powerful. And I try as a student of theirs just to even, you know, understand a little bit of the freedom and the tranquility and the connectivity and the amazement that they are. And it really inspires me in a lot of ways to grow and be. I lost faith in justice a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, you see it in contracts. Lawyers are liars. Judges are you know, they're just so many bad things. So many innocent people go to jail. And I grew up being a fan of Superman and Batman and The Flash and believing in justice. And it got taken away from me. And now I'm passionate about that again, because it's you can't have justice without truth. And courts and lawyers and shit, they all want to bury the truth and hide it in paperwork. And they shouldn't ask you whether you committed the murder anymore. They should ask you how much money you have to defend yourself.
Mhm.
You know, look at O.J. Simpson, hired a team. If he was broke, he'd have went to jail. You know, and we all sit by and go, hey, did Michael Jackson rape that kid? Oh, he paid some money and he got away with it. Did anybody else in the whole fucking world just hear that? He was accused of molesting a child and he gave money and it's gone. How the fuck does that work? Did that happen or am I crazy?
No,
Am I
that's
fucking
exactly
crazy?
it. That's exactly
What the hell
it.
happened? I don't, because I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent. I'm saying he paid fucking money. I'll tell you, if somebody molested my child, there's not enough money
No.
ever. You know what I mean? You're going to fucking, I want justice. One way or another, it's coming for you. And that happened, and America and the rest of the world just sat there and went, nobody even complained.
Right.
That's the world we live in to this day. That shit's going, now you might as well just commit murder and have some guy go to jail for you.
Well, look at Cain. Look at Cain
That
Velasquez.
happened. Yeah.
You know, look what's going on with Cain Velasquez. You know, that whole topic. That's you know, that's kind of a reflection of what you're saying. You know?
Yeah. So it's
He's getting cheated though, man. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that guy's guilty as fucking sin. That piece of shit.
Yeah, and it turns out that he get out on bail and everything else.
Yeah,
They won't
Cain did.
give
Yeah.
Cain bail.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's yeah, you're right. You know,
but this world is worth we're gonna evolve. The strong, the love, the positivity, integrity. We're in a shake right now, and just gotta let it settle, and that cream will rise to the top. And that paradigm shift will come, and that's why every day I wake up early and I stay late and I work hard, because this discovery really, really matters. It's not just about some new species. It's about a complete paradigm shift. And the governments already know. The American government knows that these individuals are highly empathic. What happened was there was one that was captured through a chain of events. It almost died. It had a fish hook in it. And they did a simple surgery, removed it, and they kept this female. But what happened that was amazing was, so they have a female Sasquatch, and she's in a compound. And there's a woman who's cooking her food every day. And the Sasquatch would see the food and salivate. She wasn't in the room with this person. This person didn't even know there was a Sasquatch there, just making food as she's told. So they'd notice every day the woman would be cutting up food and the Sasquatch would go, nom, nom. So did an experiment. They made her do some rotten stuff, make some and the Sasquatch would go, I'm not eating that. She's in a different end of the compound. And that was the beginning of them understanding a being that is so telepathic that it can just, and those things are a reality. They exist. We have that ability. As I said before, we're literally the same species. We just have to learn, like you work on your wrestling technique, like you work on your physical ability. Wrestling and fighting is a mental game, and so is empathic. It's all those things. It's being healthy. It's eating good food. It's getting sunlight. It's vitamins. That's a way to get your power and your third eye and your empathic ability up. And it'll, I'm drinking only filtered water now, and I'm taking this supplement that cleans the calcium out of my third eye, and it's fucking working. I'm starting to feel things. I'm starting to like my son is putting things out to me. I was sitting down yesterday reading a paper about somebody from Mississippi, and my little girl, she can't read, and I'm thinking about how Mississippi is cool, and my little girl says, "What's Mississippi, Daddy?" "Oh, you like Mississippi." What just happened? The calcium and the domestication and all the crap that's in that pineal gland, it's called, is getting cleaned out, and I'm connecting in ways that are amazing and brilliant. And that's not what pharmacies want. That's not what governments want, in my opinion. And I think they've proven that. They want us to stay dumb and sheepish.
When that moment happened there, Todd, did you actually look at your daughter? Did you answer her? Did you?
Yeah, I talked to her. Well, I had to get in the moment and go, I had to stop and go, I didn't say Mississippi. I just opened it and read it. I'm reading it and I'm saying it in my mind.
Yeah.
And I hugged her, and I forgot about the whole Mississippi thing. And I just started just getting into her energy and trying to, just living the miracle and really understanding that my daughter is, she literally, and she's 3, and she said, Mississippi, and she smiled. She goes, Mississippi's making Daddy happy, because I was getting excited about doing this thing. And it's even understand that love and that happiness that I felt was easier to communicate with her than me being angry or frustrated. Those emotions are harder to communicate.
Yeah. But you can actually feel that off of different people. You can feel an aura off them, whether it be a positive aura, a negative aura, but there's different things that you feel off of people. And
Most of the time.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.